If you watched last night's video, you already knew this moment was coming. Now it has arrived. Whether the eclipse reached you dramatically or quietly, the 18-month story we have been following has come to an end. Maybe you stepped outside and watched the familiar white moon slowly turn darker, taking on a deep copper-red color. Maybe you slept through it and woke up to the images, headlines, and stories shared by others. Or perhaps you simply opened your eyes this morning with the strange feeling that something had shifted overnight. However you experienced it, something has closed. Today is August 28th, 2026, and the eclipse has passed. The Virgo-Pisces cycle that began in March of last year has officially reached its conclusion. So before we go any further, tell me in the comments what actually happened for you. Not what you expected, but what genuinely appeared in your life. Your emotions, your relationships, or your thoughts. And subscribe if you want the aftermath of powerful astrological moments explained as clearly as the build-up. Because what happens after an eclipse can be just as important as the eclipse itself. Today carries a different energy from last night. The Sun forms an exact square with Uranus, an aspect associated with sudden changes, unexpected breakthroughs, surprising news, and reversals of fortune. According to today's astrological energy, 3 signs may feel this as an especially fortunate shift: Aries, Libra, and Pisces. If you belong to one of these signs, something may arrive more easily than expected. Almost as if the universe changed its mind overnight. The timing is important. Uranus represents abrupt change and freedom from old patterns. The eclipse closed a chapter. The Sun-Uranus square may now reveal what becomes possible because that chapter has ended. If you released something last night, even if it initially felt like a loss, today may already be rearranging circumstances in your favor. Unlike the eclipse energy, which developed gradually over weeks and months, Uranus tends to act suddenly. Its influence can arrive as an unexpected message, a change of plan, a new idea, an opportunity, or a realization that instantly alters the way you see your future. Because Uranus is in tension with the Sun, these surprises may touch your identity, confidence, direction, or sense of purpose. For Pisces, this moment carries particular weight. This was your eclipse, and it may symbolize the end of an older version of you, the version that waited, doubted, or struggled to understand what should happen next. If today feels like standing in unfamiliar but promising territory, trust that feeling. You do not need to have the entire future mapped out to recognize that the past no longer defines you. The aftermath may also be physical. Some people feel unusually tired after an intense emotional or symbolic event, even after sleeping well. Others experience vivid or unsettling dreams. Whether you interpret that astrologically or simply as the nervous system processing stress and emotion, the practical message is the same. Slow down, rest when needed, and give yourself time to absorb what has happened. If you remember a powerful dream from last night, write it down before the details disappear. Do not force an immediate interpretation. Sometimes the meaning only becomes clear days or weeks later. Now let us look at what today may be asking from each sign. Aries, your opportunity may come through reconsidering something from your recent past. A decision, plan, or attempt may not have worked as expected, but today asks you to stop treating the first result as the final verdict. What looked like failure may actually have given you the information needed for a stronger second attempt. Your natural ability to act quickly and change direction is useful now. Ask yourself what you abandoned too soon. If the idea still matters, return to it with the knowledge you have gained. The favorable shift may not be a completely new opportunity. It may be an old door opening differently. Taurus, the eclipse may have encouraged an honest examination of financial habits, security, and stability. Today can introduce an unexpected alternative to a plan you thought was already settled. Stay open to a different approach, especially if it offers more freedom without sacrificing the stability you value. Do not change direction simply because something new appears, but do not reject it only because it was not part of the original plan. Examine the facts carefully. The surprise could contain more potential than you first realize. Gemini, a long-held belief about your own abilities may have been tested. Today asks whether that belief is still accurate or whether it belongs to an older version of you. You are naturally adaptable, and this is one of those moments when changing your mind about yourself can become a strength. If recent events prove that you are more capable than you believed, accept the evidence. If they revealed a weakness, use that knowledge without turning it into a permanent label. Updating your self-image may be the breakthrough. Cancer, family, home, and emotional safety may have come into sharper focus. Today may bring resolution in an unexpected form. A family member could reach out. A difficult situation may settle without the confrontation you feared. Or your own perspective could soften enough to free you from an old emotional burden. Remain receptive. Resolution does not always arrive as an apology or a perfect conversation. Sometimes it arrives when you decide that another person's behavior will no longer control your peace. Leo, creative work developed during the past year and a half may now be reaching completion. The Sun-Uranus energy can bring sudden attention, recognition, or an opportunity connected to something you have already created. If you recently completed a project, do not hide it while waiting for perfection. Share it, present it, or place it where the right people can see it. Your opportunity may depend on visibility, and today favors allowing your work to speak for you, Virgo. Because the eclipse occurred opposite your sign, you may have experienced its release through contrast. Pisces dissolves boundaries. Virgo creates order. During this cycle, you may have been asked to loosen perfectionism, surrender excessive control, and accept that not every meaningful process can be organized in advance. Today may give you a practical opportunity to live that lesson. A task may succeed without endless correction. A situation may improve when you stop trying to manage every detail. Good enough is not always carelessness. Sometimes it is wisdom. Libra, your good fortune may begin with a change in perception. External circumstances do not always need to transform before life feels different. When you decide you deserve better and begin noticing new possibilities, you also become more willing to pursue them. Today, pay attention to what you previously overlooked. A conversation, invitation, idea, or connection may contain an opening that the old version of you would have dismissed. Luck may enter through the door created by a new perspective. Scorpio, deep internal work may have reached an important point of completion. You are accustomed to transformation happening slowly and privately, but today's Uranian influence may deliver a sudden insight, a complete understanding that seems to arrive all at once. Do not distrust the insight only because it came quickly. Write it down, consider how it connects to what you have experienced, and allow it to guide the next step. The breakthrough may be the final piece of a process that has actually been unfolding for a long time. Sagittarius, home life and ambition may require honest balance. Work growth, travel, or personal goals may have pulled you away from the people and places that keep you grounded. Today is not asking you to abandon your ambitions. It is asking whether the current balance truly reflects your priorities. A domestic issue may finally reach a conclusion, giving you a clearer way to honor both freedom and responsibility. The important thing is to choose consciously instead of allowing one area of life to dominate through habit and momentum. Capricorn, an overdue conversation with someone close may reach its natural conclusion. Difficult conversations are rarely comfortable, but today offers the possibility of seeing a perspective you had not fully considered. You often prepare carefully before addressing serious matters, sometimes so carefully that the conversation keeps being postponed. If the opportunity arises naturally today, speak honestly and listen fully. You do not need a perfect script. The purpose is not to control every response, but to create clarity. Aquarius, relief may arrive around money, debt, or a shared financial responsibility. But this resolution may require your direct participation. If something is owed, unclear, or unfinished between you and another person, deal with it openly instead of waiting for it to disappear. True independence is not the absence of all obligations. Sometimes freedom comes from settling what is owed, clearing the record, and removing the emotional weight of an unfinished agreement. Pisces, this eclipse may mark a deeply personal release. In addition to the gradual ending you have felt approaching, today can add an unexpected opportunity or change that was not visible even a few days ago. Your first instinct may be caution, especially after an emotionally intense period. But do not automatically interpret surprise as danger. Stay grounded, examine what appears, and remain open to the possibility that uncertainty can bring something positive. It is important to remember that astrology describes general tendencies, not guaranteed outcomes. Your personal chart, circumstances, decisions, and ordinary human experience all influence how these days affect you. If today feels completely normal, nothing has gone wrong. You have not missed a cosmic opportunity. Sometimes change happens beneath conscious awareness and becomes visible only later. A decision made now may reveal its importance next month. A relationship may gradually feel different. A burden may become lighter so quietly that you notice it only when you realize you have stopped thinking about it every day. This leads to the most important question of today. What does genuine closure actually feel like? There is a difference between true closure and simply declaring that you have moved on. When we move forward without processing what happened, the old experience often continues influencing our reactions, choices, and relationships. Genuine closure usually leaves us lighter, even when we cannot fully explain why. One useful test is to notice what happens in your body when you remember the situation. Can you think about it without immediately becoming tense or overwhelmed? If the emotional charge is still intense, the process may not be complete. That is not failure. It may simply need more time, honesty, support, or direct attention. And even real healing does not mean you will never feel anything again. An old song, place, memory, or comment can briefly awaken an emotion you thought had disappeared. The better measure is the overall direction. Does the memory have less power over you than before? Are you recovering more quickly? Are your choices becoming freer? If so, healing is happening. If you do feel closure today, resist the pressure to rush immediately into the next chapter. Take a moment to honor what ended. Modern life gives us very little space to mark conclusions, yet endings deserve recognition because they show us how much we have survived, learned, and outgrown. At the same time, Uranus favors movement. You may feel a strong desire to act, begin something, or step through a newly opened door. Both impulses are valid. Pause long enough to acknowledge the ending, then allow yourself to respond to the future. Here is a simple practice you can do today. Take a page and write down what became clear during the eclipse and its aftermath. Do not try to sound profound. Record what actually happened, what you understood, what you released, and what still feels unresolved. Then write one honest sentence beginning with, "Now that this chapter is ending, I want..." Do not write what you think you should want or what sounds spiritual. Write the truth. The purpose is to transform a vague feeling into a clear intention you can carry forward. This eclipse also completes a remarkable month of intense symbolic movement, a month associated with courage, visibility, hidden truths, relationship tests, emotional release, and Virgo season's call to turn insight into practical action. Each stage appeared to build on the one before it, leading toward this final moment of culmination. But the most valuable result may not be any single prediction. It may be the ability you develop to notice meaningful thresholds while they are happening. Life is always changing, but we often understand important moments only in hindsight. By paying attention, reflecting, and responding consciously, you become more present inside your own story. What comes next is not another immediate climax. The coming weeks offer something quieter and equally necessary: integration. This is the time to live what you have learned, make practical decisions, adjust habits, and allow emotional clarity to settle into everyday life. Do not mistake calm for emptiness. After a period of intensity, ordinary days create the space where transformation becomes real. Continue returning to whatever became clear, because understanding often unfolds in layers. A lesson that seems simple today may reveal a deeper meaning after you have lived with it for several weeks. Tell me in the comments what happened for you across the eclipse and today. Was the change dramatic, quiet, or completely different from what you expected? Your experience matters because no single forecast can capture the full variety of ways a moment like this moves through different lives. If this reflection helped you understand the eclipse and its aftermath, like the video, subscribe, and share it with someone who has also been moving through an important ending. Whatever closed last night and whatever opens next, trust that you are more prepared than you think. Readiness was never about having every answer. It was about showing up honestly, paying attention, and being willing to meet each threshold as it arrived. Imagine a door that has been opening slowly for 18 months. Today, it finally stands open. Whatever this cycle was preparing you to face, release, or become is no longer a distant possibility. It is part of your present reality. The preparation is complete. What remains is the walking, one honest step at a time, into whatever waits on the other side. And wherever you are, remember that you are not walking alone. Countless others have crossed this same threshold, each carrying a different story, a different ending, and a different hope for what comes next. That shared experience reflects the deepest lesson of Pisces. Beneath all our separate lives, we are connected by the same fears, the same need to heal, and the same courage to begin again.